This is Mark Henry from FridayNightGlory.com here at Southlake, Carroll, with head coach Hal Wasson. Just wrapped up the spring. Coach, who are the players that you have establishing themselves this year and looking out to have a breakout season coming in?
Wow, that's a big question there because we have a lot of players I'm really counting on. I think if you start up front on offense, you have to say Jackson Kimball and Matt Lehan. They're very seasoned players. They've shown tremendous leadership. They've worked extremely hard. So I'd say offensively, today those two guys. Defensively, if you look across the board over there, I think you look and you see guys like Ryan Thompson, Matty Werner, Jacob Doddridge, R.J. Mickens. A little bit of offense, both of those guys. And then I throw out, Hayden Hayes has had tremendous spring. So I guess as far as showing seasoning and leadership capabilities, Dale Belknap, we've got some guys on that side of the ball that have been very impressive. I think on that side, I've been impressed with our defensive front. They're a work in progress. They're going to be well coached, and but I think Fatty Omi and Bunton, have shown signs of doing some really good things. Moving Jacob around a little bit, Doddridge has helped us. Yep. So I know they're going to have to be great technicians and play really hard because we're going to be undersized in some areas. Offensively, I think if I go to our skill spots, the word that jumps out at me is inconsistency right now. But they're young and it's early, and we had we got to work out the kinks. The three seasoned guys, somewhat that we had over there, three of our receivers missed the last 2 or 3 weeks of spring ball, so we were wanting that continuity and that consistent work together. But we'll catch up hopefully on their own time in the summer when they get out there and do their thing with 707. I've been very impressed with TJ McDaniel at running back. Man, he's had a great spring. I like Tavian Good, and he ran a lot better tonight. He's getting a little more comfortable. And when you're a skill guy, confidence is such a big word, and you can't inhale it, you can't inherit it. You just got to play through some things, and
it's almost a learned capability.
Yeah, and that's a great way to put it because it is a learned behavior. Being confident is a learned behavior, and it's one of those deals. Quarterback kind of the same way. Will's done a really good job in grasping and the knowledge of our offense, so he's ahead there just because he's been there before. Right. I got a couple of younger guys in their defense. They've done some really good things, but again, the consistency part. And in their defense, they're young guys, and we're trying to put a lot on them. And it's like I tell them, it's kind of like a clogged drain. You got that Drano, and they're sitting there. It's going to clean on out, but you got to be a little patient. But I know we've got great young men. I know they're going to work extremely hard to be the best versions of themselves. And as we continue this, I think, again, the key word, if I hadn't said it enough, is going to be consistency. Okay. And that's going to be where we are right now.
Well, one last question. The big thing about Southlake, Carroll, and the Dragon community is the tradition. You got great players going back to the Chase Daniel days, Lil Jordan Humphrey more recent, even Robert Barnes coming out of the safety position this year. What do you establish with your guys at the beginning of the spring that carries over to the first game?
Every year's a new year's. We all know that. And I've been at Carroll a long time, and the next class doesn't want to be the class. And we don't dwell on that stuff because, you can't live in the past, but you can't live in the future. And I think that's the biggest challenge we have as coaches and a football team each year is to try to get out of the present moment. And we've got to stay very focused on that because sometimes the world out there is telling us, what's the next step? Who's the college? What's the college? Who would we get in the playoffs? Well, you know what? This football team at this stage, if I could ever give them any advice over a long career, is stay in the present moment. If we ever lose sight of that, we're going to be in trouble. But then again, I know how important the present moment is to these guys because I'm with them every day, and it's extremely important for them to be the next team that's the best version of themselves. And there's no doubt it's going to be an extreme challenge. It's going to be challenging, but that's why we do this. And if it were easy, I think we'd see that locker room overflowing with the guys. But it's not easy. And we've got elite young men that know they play for a very elite program in a great community and great school district. And I know as a coach they're going to do everything humanly possible. And I know our coaches are going to do everything humanly possible. But sometimes you have to exercise extreme patience and control to get where you want to get.
All right. Well, congratulations on a seemingly successful spring.
Yes, sir.
Again, this is Mark Henry with FridayNightGlory.com.